Welcome to Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. This Day Weather Podcast is being brought to you by ConverseCountyTourism.com. Feel the energy of Converse County. Explore Douglas's railroad heritage, Ayers Natural Bridge, and the Jackalope legend. Glen Rock boasts scenic trails, dinosaur history, and small-town charm. Plan your visit at ConverseCountyTourism.com. Well, I can guarantee just about all of you out there are going to be getting some form or fashion of spring fever. This high pressure is building in and will be overhead today. This means that we're going to have more sun, less clouds, warmer temperatures, and less wind. Now, I don't think anyone's going to be mad about the less wind part. It doesn't mean zero wind, but we will see the pattern, which has made it very, very windy here lately, ease up a bit, especially today, tomorrow, and into the day on Thursday. So enjoy and take advantage of it. Now, with the warmer conditions, the atmosphere gets a little unstable, and as a little bit of moisture comes in, there might be a few afternoon showers and weak thunderstorms as early as Thursday in some areas, but temperatures through Thursday and even into the beginnings of Friday do still stay very mild. But that very large storm off the Pacific coast, as we have been talking about, is going to fracture, and pieces of the system begin to move inland. And it looks like we've got two separate pieces. One piece that comes in Friday. This will produce shower and thunderstorm activity in the Great Basin, the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest, and into parts of the Rockies, mainly in the form of scattered showers and thunder. Then a second wave comes in Saturday, Sunday. That one will be colder, that one will be larger and more moist. And you put the two together, and that's going to lead to some chances of precipitation this weekend. And in areas that could be 60s to near 70, may have a chance of snow before the weekend's over. So it's springtime in the Rockies. We're going to see a very active pattern next week. There's a lot of different scenarios. As we've been mentioning, the model's having a really difficult time. That'll continue in the next week, but we're going to have more pieces of that West Coast system breaking off and coming through. But the timing and the path of these exact location of these systems is going to be a little bit tricky. But the first week of April is going to be active, is the bottom line there. I wanted to touch again on the rain gauge rally. The Coco Ross program of volunteer folks who track precipitation, rain, and snowfall. The idea here in the month of March is to get as many new observers as possible. Now, it's been brought to my attention that we're getting to the end here, and you got to look at the states that are ahead in the rain gauge rally. There's two ways that you can win here. You can win by the pure number of stations, people signing up, volunteers signing up. Minnesota, I think, has got this one in the bag, but there's a per capita rank right here where the number of volunteers is based on the number of people you have in your state. So Wyoming right now is second to Minnesota, but Minnesota's got both first places. We cannot let that happen. We do not want Minnesota to run the table here, and we've got till next Monday for you to sign up. So volunteers anywhere that you're hearing this podcast, we need volunteers to help measure rain and snow. For those of you that look at the drought monitor all the time, information that is submitted like this in places where we don't have good radar coverage or measurements of rainfall and snow, it's really important. So if you look at the leaderboard here, Wyoming is standing at second with 60 new signups. However, to get to this per capita scoring here, if you look at the number of points that are needed, when you look at how far the count is right now with Minnesota, what this comes out to is that Wyoming, you need 15 more signups to catch up to Minnesota. So we need 15 more volunteers in Wyoming to measure precipitation. So we need you to go ahead and get going because you actually do have a cup. There's actually a trophy. Yes, there's a trophy with this. If you're wondering why it looks weird, it's because that's a rain gauge. And these rain gauges hold up to 10 inches of water, which is a lot of beer. And the reason I throw the beer on there is this is like the Stanley Cup. It moves around. It's a traveling trophy. So let's see if we can get the per capita 15 more signups needed in Wyoming, and we need a lot of signups along the I-80 corridor. Now, we know that there's not a lot of people here, right? We know that. But this is a real big data void. So if you're in this data void where we're not getting rain and snow measured, please sign up. We need that information. This is an area where we need to track the precipitation better. Beautiful cloudscapes, boy, as you'll see here in a minute, last evening, bringing up some beautiful sunset conditions and sunrise conditions with the specific moisture coming on in. We get a lot of layers to the clouds, a lot of texture, so we get beautiful views like this. And then Jan Curtis put together a great time lapse of lots of different flare-ups, so to speak, of colors with the sundown yesterday across southeastern Wyoming. So you can see the layer of clouds, then you can see these alternating periods of different colors. Just a beautiful sunset across the region. And with a lot of sun and some high and mid-level clouds drifting through at times, we're going to have that opportunity again over the next several evenings and the next several mornings. The surface chart this morning shows what's left of the wave going through the northern plains. Pretty quiet really across the country because of that big area of high pressure that's overhead, and you can really see it on the satellite image. Look at the clouds going up and over around this big old high. So this is just going to lead to some very happy people because of some spring weather coming our way under this high pressure ridge. If you look at the weather across the nation, there's not a lot going on. Now we do have avalanche dangers because of shifting temperatures up here. The green here is because of snowmelt. With the very warm temperatures coming in, snowmelt accelerating, so creeks, rivers, and streams will be on the rise. We'll have some fog down here along the Gulf Coast. But boy, this is just really quiet across the nation. Take advantage of it. It's spring. This little breaks like this don't happen for too long. When we take a look at where we are with the high pressure ridge overhead today, then when we get into Friday, we see the low comes down and closer to the west coast, but begins to break. We've got 3 lows. The one getting spit out, another one here, another one here. This first one gets spit out on Friday, and this will bring instability ahead of it. So between now and Thursday, this is what precipitation looks like. Along the coast, you're going to get some moisture coming in. These little speckles that you see here, these little speckles are Thursday, and some of these are going to be actually Thursday afternoon and evening, a little bit of weak shower and thunderstorm activity. You can see we're starting to talk more about thunderstorms now, and you can see that even along the Front Range and into here, it's weak, but there may be some weak shower activity, then showers approaching the Pacific Northwest coast that may have a little bit of lightning and thunder. And on Saturday, there's even going to be some instability, and this is one reason why the chances of rain and thunder and snow really start to go up, and you can see out here on the plains as well. So things start to get very springy. First with the warmth, and then the opportunity for more moisture. Here comes the second system Saturday. It's bigger, and finally it's a bit slower moving. And there's going to be an opportunity for the system to draw in some moisture, bring moist, unstable air right across the Central Rockies. So the really nice weather we're going to have over the next few days will not last through the weekend. By Sunday, it moves through, and then we have another wave coming in right behind it. And that is likely going to be producing a moist, unstable air mass over the Rockies and the Central High Plains, which is going to lead to, finally, some precipitation opportunities. Now, don't take this for gospel truth here. This is a guide. We will likely see this fluctuate a little bit, but the one thing we're seeing is that in this basic region right here, there's going to be some opportunities for measurable precipitation. The heavier moisture could shift north or south a little bit, but there's going to be some opportunities for rain and snow and thunder, basically between late Thursday all the way up through the day on Sunday. As these systems, what's left of that big storm, pieces of it, come on through. And if you translate that to snow, so again, where people are going to be very, very mild, there's some opportunities for a wet spring snow to fall. So livestock interest and anybody traveling this weekend, be ready for some shifting gears. Then as we get into next week, this gets us through the weekend. This is for late Monday. Notice the low here gets stretched out a little bit, but we have a very energetic and strong and very moist jet stream pushing its way into the coast. There's a wave forming right here Monday afternoon that could come right through Monday night into Tuesday, producing another batch of rain, snow, and thunder as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So we'll need to kind of keep an eye on this. This is where there's going to be a lot of variability in the forecast. But this system here is just going to continue to feed moisture and energy off the west coast into the interior. And eventually, the largest chunk of this low will come off in a bigger piece late next week or the weekend after this one. So that's why the first 7 days of April will be very busy. Have yourself a great Tuesday. We'll check in with you tomorrow.